In this video, I want to share 3 of my favorite tools with you that I use to run more successful ads for my music on Spotify. Hey, it's John here at Hypedit. If you've been watching this channel, you know that I love to promote my music with Facebook and Instagram ads. And so in today's video, I decided to share 3 of my favorite tools with you that I use to run more successful campaigns for my music on Spotify. But before we dive in, don't forget to hit the like, the subscribe, and the bell icon below so you can get more videos like this on YouTube on how to promote your music on Spotify. With that said, let's hop over to my screen and we'll dive right in. The first tool that I want to show you is called Every Noise at Once. It's a website that you can visit at everynoise.com. And what this does here is a project that is mapping thousands of music genres and the related artists together, all based on Spotify data. So when you come to the website here, you see a long list of genres. I think at the moment it's between 5,000 and 6,000 music genres. And all the way at the bottom, they explain what this mapping means here and what they're trying to do. So I'll show you this real quick. Here, Every Noise at Once is an ongoing attempt at an algorithmically generated, readability adjusted scatterplot of the musical genre space based on data tracked and analyzed for 6,269 genre-shaped distinctions by Spotify as of yesterday, July 29. The calibration is fuzzy, but in general, down is more organic, up is more mechanical and electric, left is denser and more atmospheric, right is spikier and bouncier. So if you see all these genres here being mapped out and they go from the bottom left sort of to the top right corner, then that's the explanation behind it. Now, full disclosure, okay? This website is as fascinating as it is confusing. There's just so much going on. But I found 2 ways in which to use Every Noise at Once to generate some really cool targeting ideas for my ad campaigns for my music on Spotify that I wouldn't have come up with otherwise. And that's what I want to show you. The first one works if you have a really clear idea what niche genre your music falls into. So using myself as an example, I make old school piano house music. So I could use the search function in my browser here to look for piano house, and it finds one. Now, if I look for old school piano house, which really is what I make, unfortunately that doesn't come up. So piano house is my best bet. And when you find a genre on this list here and you hover over it, first of all, you can click it and it'll play music, so you can instantly get a sense for the sound represented by this genre. And there's also this little icon here with 2 arrows pointing right. If you click on this one, now you move to a map that maps artists to the genre. So these are all music artists that Every Noise at Once has mapped to piano house. And this can give you some initial targeting ideas. You can go through this list here, and every artist that you find here, you can hover your mouse over it, you can click it, and it will instantly start playing music. Now, since I'm recording this video here right now, you won't hear the sound in the video. But once you go to this website here, just click around, listen to some of the artists, and you might find some that instantly sound very similar to you and are targeting ideas that you can use for your ads. But in my case, this actually isn't a perfect match here. So while all of these artists represent piano house music, it's not necessarily the sound of old school piano house that I represent. So these may not be perfect targeting opportunities for me. And that's why I want to show you a second way of how to use this website. Let me go back to the homepage. And this time I want to start with an artist search up here in the top right corner. Now, one of the first things you can try here is you can type in your artist name and search for that and see if you come up. Just type in the name, hit return, and then give it a couple seconds. Now, for me, it comes back with music associated to Australian house and French tech house. Now, this is interesting. It might be worth checking out. So I could come here, click on Australian house, and I see the artists that are associated here. Again, just play a few, listen to the sound, and see whether anything here resonates with you and sounds very close to you. This could be an interesting targeting idea. Now, in my particular case, Australian house isn't a perfect match. And I attribute this to the fact that I'm a smaller artist, and so the data that Every Noise at Once has about me is a little bit more limited. And if I go back here real quick,
if you type in your own name here, it might actually come back and say artist couldn't be found or artist hasn't been mapped yet. So this works best if you work with artist names that are a little bit bigger. And so there's more data for every noise at once to map. In my case, this seems a little bit off. But I don't worry about this because there's another way to use this. And this is by thinking of just a slightly bigger artist who makes music that sounds similar to me that I already know about. Likely this is somebody who inspired you. Who do you love listening to? Who inspires you for the kind of music, the kind of sound that you make? So that could be a hint. In my case, this will be an artist such as DJ Tonka. So I'm gonna put him in here, hit return, and then this is what I'm getting here. Disco house, vocal house, bubble trance, German techno. So DJ Tonka is associated with a number of different genres here. And similar to what I did before, I'm just gonna come here and click on disco house. And in my case, this is bullseye, okay? Armin van Helden, Bob Sinclair, Martin Solveig, Roger Sanchez. If you've watched some of my other videos and you've seen how I launch my campaigns and the sound-alike artists that I use for targeting, a lot of these names will be familiar. But now the amazing thing is here, I'm no longer just limited to those 4 or 5 ideas. These are all being surrounded here now by other artists that are potential targeting ideas as well. And just like before, hover over it, play it, listen to a couple seconds of their sound, see who sounds very close to your sound, and then write it down so that you're building a list of sound-alike artists. And what I like to do is I like to do this for multiple genres that an artist is mapped to. And that's because the boundaries between genres are blurry and one song or one artist might fall into multiple music genres. So what I could do in this case here is I could go back, and after I explore the disco house map, I'll explore the vocal house map. I already see some of the same artists here. Martin Solveig's in here, Armin van Helden is in here, but there will be others on this map. And again, I'm going to play a couple of those, and the ones I really like, because they sound so similar to me, I'll write them down and I add them to my targeting list. And so in one session with every noise at once, it's really easy to build out a long list of targeting ideas that I can use to run my music ads. And with that said, let's move on to tool number 2, and that's Hypedit. This is what I use in order to launch and manage my ad campaigns. That means I literally don't log into the Facebook Ads Manager anymore to launch and set up my campaigns. I just use Hypedit because it manages the entire process automatically. It sets up the pixel, it sets up the smart links, it sets up the tracking, it sets up the targeting, everything automatically. So let me show you the exact settings that I use here. Just go to hypedit.com. If you're new here, start an account for free, or if you have an account, just log in. On your dashboard, click the green plus icon, and then from the templates, choose the one that best matches your promotion goal. In my case, I love the Grow My Spotify playlist template because it grows a song and the playlist the song is on at the same time. So I'm going to hit select on this one. Connect your Facebook account, select your fan page, your Instagram account, your ad account, your pixel, and go next. Enter the URL of the playlist on Spotify where your song is on that you want to promote. In my case, it's this playlist here, a playlist of all my songs that I made myself. So this is not an official Spotify playlist. That's one that I generated. I'm going to come here, paste the link. Now it wants to know the URL of the song that's being promoted. I'm going to set this up for Beat of My Heart. Let me share the song link, put it in here, and it already populates the artist name, the title, and the genre here. I'm going to call this Deep House. And next, for the ad, it already has the cover art. I can add a video effect to this. For this one, I like the VHS grain effect. So I'm going to pick this one. Upload the audio file of the song, and then I'll pick 3 different audio snippets from the song here for my ad. So I'm going to use this one, I'm going to use this one, and I'm going to use another one. Now I did this really quick and without listening to it because I'm recording the video here on my screen at the same time. When you do this, you really want to listen to every one of these preview snippets and then just cut out the ones that represent some of the most exciting moments of your song. In my case, these videos are being created and being rendered right now, so all I have to do is click next. Country targeting, tier 1 and tier 2, that's where it's happening for me. So I'm going to keep the default and go next. Interests. Now here's where all the interest research that you did in every noise at once comes in. Put 3 to 10 sound-alike artists that you researched here. I'm going to put in DJ Tonka, Bob Sinclair, and Martin Solveig. There it is. Then I'm going to hit generate interests. Let the algorithm do its thing. And I'm going to review the suggested targeting interests here. Deep House, Bob Sinclair, Martin Solveig, Armin van Helden, Eric Prides. Looks perfect. go next. Budget $5 a day, it's perfect to start. Go next. Advanced settings, I'm gonna skip those because most artists get the best results just with the automatic and default settings here. So in most cases, don't touch the advanced settings. Confirmation summary, this is all that's being created. Just gotta confirm that this is what I wanna do. Save draft and publish. Now Hypedit is literally setting up the entire ad campaign with pixel, conversion tracking, smart link, deep links, everything that goes into a successful Spotify ad campaign automatically in just a couple seconds. Here comes the confirmation. Your ad campaign is published, so it's now been submitted to Facebook, Instagram for review. And in just a couple minutes or just a couple hours, this campaign is going to be delivering, bringing new listeners, fans, and streams over to my music on Spotify. And this process was so easy that I don't even log into Facebook Ads Manager anymore to launch my campaign. This is what I use here because it's not just easier, but with the software doing all the technical setup, I already know that it's set up correctly. In the past, sometimes I would made a mistake, maybe select the wrong placement or select the wrong conversion event. And none of this happens here. This is automatically set up correctly all throughout the campaign settings. And with this said, let's move on to tool number 3, which is Music Stacks, a website that you can visit at musicstacks.com. And I like Music Stacks to review some important information about the performance of my music, in particular, the popularity score. Let me show you how to look this up here real quick. I'm going to go to search and I'm going to look for myself here. Okay, let me scroll down a little bit. So this is me over here. This is all data that's being pulled in from Spotify. And let's go to one of my songs here, Beat on My Heart, and scroll down a little bit. And what I'm looking for is this here. I'm looking for the popularity score. The popularity score is a score that goes from 0 to 100 in order to describe the relative popularity of music on Spotify. So tracks that are at 100, those are going to be the most popular tracks on Spotify. Now, that's obviously something that's reserved for the biggest artists in the world. And then if you just release the song on Spotify, it's going to basically start at 0. And then as you get listeners and interactions on the song, your popularity score rises. The reason why this is important is that when you hit a popularity score of somewhere between 20 and 30, that's usually associated with Spotify recognizing your song and giving you more distribution through its algorithmic playlist. So between 20 and 30. So that is usually when you see Discover Weekly picking up your song, or when you see Spotify Radio getting you more exposure for your song. Spotify updates the popularity score every 1 to 2 days. So when I have a new release out, I come here every day or every second day to check where is my popularity score. I want to see this rise from the 10s into the 20s and ideally even beyond. And sometimes I might even decide to keep an ad campaign that works well for a song running a little bit longer to push this popularity score even a little bit higher, because I know the reward with Spotify's algorithmic playlists can be huge. So here you have it, some of my favorite tools when it comes to promoting my music on Spotify with ads: Every Noise at Once, Hypedit, and Music Stacks. All of these are free or free to try, so I recommend you check them out, and I wish you all the best for your next ad campaign for your music on Spotify. Want to get your music heard on Spotify with AI? I just launched a brand new video training program called the Spotify Growth Switch, where I show you how to start growing real listeners, real fans, and real streams on Spotify in less than 10 minutes using software and AI. I've used the Spotify Growth Switch system to now grow my music to over 7 million streams and tens of thousands of monthly listeners on Spotify. This works for any music genre. It gets you real fans and listeners super fast, and it's extremely easy to set up, literally just like flipping a spotlight switch for your music. Despite using AI, you don't need to know nothing about tech stuff in order to be successful with this. I've had the tremendous privilege of helping multiple tens of thousands of music artists grow their music on Spotify, many of which have grown to much larger numbers, lots more listeners, lots more streams than I have using the systems that I've taught. Makes me so proud of their success. And so if you want to get more real listeners, real fans, and real streams for your music fast using state-of-the-art software and AI, then click the link below this video and check out the Spotify Growth Switch. I can't wait to help you grow your music on Spotify, and I look forward to seeing you on the inside.